Hola, how's audio? Hola, how's audio? Hola, how's audio? Is audio working? Hola, how's audio? Is audio working? Is audio working? Is audio working? Is audio working? What's up, JJ? Just gonna wait for a few more people to get in here. What's up, JJ? Just gonna wait for a few more people to get in here. So I did this thing this week where I put the same build in a Hadley and a Intheon and run the same settings and the same juice, two different squonkers. I think I like the Intheon better. So I did this thing.
What's up, Dave?
This week where I put the same build in a Hadley and a Intheon and run the same settings and the same juice, two different squonkers. I think I like the.
We have
Intheon
4 whole
better.
people watching now.
So I did this thing.
What's up, Dave?
This week where I put the
I'm
same
echoing.
build in a Hadley and a Intheon and run the same settings and the same juice, two different squonkers. I think I like the.
We have
Intheon
4 whole
better.
people watching now.
I don't know. Let me try and figure that out. So I did this thing.
What's up, Dave?
This week where I put the
I'm
same
echoing.
build in a Hadley and a Intheon and run the same settings and the same juice, two different squonkers. I think I like the.
We have
Intheon
4 whole
better.
people watching now.
I don't know. Let me try and figure that out.
What's up, Dave?
I did mute my end. All right, is that better? Is that any better? Is that any better? All right. All right, so y'all might hear some stuff in the background. My wife is battling the terrorist solo right now, so you'll have to forgive me. Well, Graham was supposed to promote it. Let me post the link on Facebook. What's up, Coffee Man? All right, we're getting a few more people. One more, two more. Hey Shindo, how goes, man? I'm gonna edit out some of this dead space in the front when I actually post it to rewatch later. Awesome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying that. I had a chicken fried steak sandwich for dinner. At Sonic. Yay. All right. So we got a few watching now, and I'm going to post this up to run again later. I was talking to Wayne and a few other people about bringing some tobacco content to the DIY or Die network, and decided to roll with my own channel, and Wayne will share it around on his site later. Gonna do mostly tobacco focused for the content. I'm gonna do a bit of other stuff too here and there to so I don't get bored with it, and maybe throw a hardware review or two in here and there. I'm not real sure yet, but but yeah, mostly tobacco focused. So yay, the tobacco fans will I'm sure rejoice or not, depending on how terrible I am. Picked some easy ones for today to cover. Gonna do as Dave calls them, the easy two from Flavora, Red Burley and Cured. Probably two of the most covered, but I think they share a unique partnership, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Yeah, I hear you on the no pants fit anymore thing, man. It's the holiday season, and I can't never not game during the season. Anyway, while we're sitting here waiting for people to show up, I did the same build, 0.5-ish. I think it's 0.52 spaced build in with 24 gauge Kanthal in my Hadley and in my Entheon, running them at both the same 30-ish watts, 32, and running the same juice in them. I really like, I think I really like the Entheon better. I will work on Super Chat Coffee Man. Aha. All right, Tobacco Batman and Tobacco Robin. I'm not really sure which is which, but Red Burley is a unique tobacco, I think, for as far as an artificial flavoring to, in my experience, it's one of the first to accurately nail a profile. It's definitely a burley. It's got some unique qualities in that lower it's more of a generic burley, and then higher it gets really nutty and thick until you go too high with it, and then it just gets moist and yucky. But it does some really cool things with cured, in that cured has a tendency to fade out over time and not come back with the boomerang effect that most Lavora tobaccos have. Cured is one that will just fade out and not come back. But when you add Red Burley to it, or you add Native to it, or any of the others, like the stronger cigarish, pipe-ish tobaccos, then cured will do the boomerang where it goes away and comes back. Plus, cured brightens up Red Burley a good bit and keeps it from being too dark. Thanks, JJ. Hope y'all can't hear my toddler throwing a fit. Anyway, of all of them, those two particularly work well with adding different flavors to for dessert profiles. Let me see if I can find one real quick. All right, yay, no hearing the toddler at all. I'm gonna have to get used to this. The chat is like 30 seconds ahead of the video. All right, so anyway, cured will keep Red Burley from getting too dark, and Red Burley will keep cured from fading out. Cured is like a generic, brighter tobacco profile that you can really take anywhere. When it's used alone, you'll see it if people are wanting the tobacco to hang around for a while, you'll see it used really high, like Verve did in his Sweet Leaf. Paired with other tobaccos, it tends to stick around, and as I said, keep red burley from getting too dark, and kind of eases up on the nutty aspect of red burley. But cured also pairs well with Flavor on Native, and it pairs really well with the Inawera for pipelines. I bet y'all can hear him now. I'm going to have to pick a different time for this, I think. Well, this first one is turning out to be terrible. He's having a rough day today, man. He's having a rough day. He was real fussy. So I didn't plan a whole lot of talking on tobacco today. I'm going to try to do something that Noted does really well. Something that Noted does really well that I'm probably going to do terribly at, because the way I describe flavors is I'm going to cover flavors that I find interesting that pair well with tobaccos, and more southern dessert profiles and whatnot. And oh God. And cover the tobaccos in that nature, and I'm going to be way more well prepared next time for this. But so in the future, I'm for those I'm mostly gonna that's a good point. I'm going to carry on the Rest in Peace Beginner Blending and the Blend podcast, the two best shows in vaping that are no longer ill-fated. Whatever. They had a really neat aspect where they did mix it or fix it. And so I'm going to do one. I'm going to carry on that tradition. I'm going to do mix it, fix it, or nix it. And yes, I'm stealing that. And I told them I'm stealing that. They kind of gave me their blessing. But I'm going to pick recipes in the tobacco realm, because that's, I mean, it's not all I vape and all I mix, but it is a good bit of what I vape and mix. So, all right, Coffee Man, that'll work. So I'm going to pick them off all the flavors. I might pick one off of ELR here and there. Nothing against ELR. I typically have trouble finding better things there than on ATF, but ATF is slowly getting more and more. Hey, Joel, good to see you here. But I'll pick one a week, and some tobaccos are funny in that you've got to steep them for 2 to 3 weeks. Some are not, so I'm going to try to get ahead of it. I actually have one steeping right now, but I don't want to try it because I gave 14 to 20 days steep time on it, and I just mixed it last week. Anyway, so and in this show, as in all shows, these are my opinions and my experiences. yes, things can be requested for mixed, fixed, or nixed. These are my opinions and my experiences, and I'm not the end-all be-all tobacco guy. I'm fairly accomplished at it now, mainly because I stuck with it for a long time, but I was one of those guys that just couldn't make good things for the first couple of months I bought flavorings, which was a long time ago. Anyway, I just stuck with it and kept on and got to where I could make things. And hopefully, I am going to get more organized on this. Hopefully, my aspect of mixing will be able to help some people that just aren't getting it in the many other ways that people are trying to help them. And we'll go for there. If you guys have any comments or recommendations, you can message me on the DIY Discord. You can comment on this video after I post it up on YouTube and leave some recommendations there, or some recommendations for mix it or fix it, mix it, fix it, or nix it. It's like World War III out there right now. There's a recipe that I worked on for a while. I haven't released anything recently. I've been wanting to save a few things to release and talk about on the show. Let me get this ready. I'm gonna have to insulate my room. One of these days I'll also figure out how to screen share on the side panel here that's doing absolutely nothing. This recipe here, one person has tried it, not in this version. He tried a much richer version. It wasn't something you could vape for even a half a day. It is loud for me, Shinto. It's really loud. Man. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this at maybe 10 o'clock on Tuesday nights or something. I don't know. Just because I know he'll be asleep then. Anyway, I'll do my customary more notes on this. Yes, that is a tobacco recipe, JJ. It features cured. It features native tobacco, a little more heavier. I guess cured would be the tobacco robin. And it is a very desserty profile. It's based off of a commercial juice. Yeah, I'm sorry about this, folks. I'm gonna have to do this at a different time. Yeah, Shindo, it's a bit rich, especially with the FLV coconut up that high. But it's the profile just works for me. It may be a little rich for some people, although it is nowhere near as rich as it used to be. All right. Closing the door and putting coats over it does not block the noise out, in case you guys were wondering. Yeah, you have no idea how loud it is here, man. It's so distracting. Anyway, did my stupid little Hadley Entheon comparison. Talked about the format of the show. Talked terribly about Red Burley. Right, all old and deaf. Anyway, what I'm currently vaping on is actually that recipe. And yes, that is my Hadley leaking, like Hadleys do. I used to give people shit about being over drippers or over squonkers, and I went to using the Haku and the Entheon only for a month or two, and now I can't seem to use a Hadley without filling my hand up with juice. They're good tobaccos, JJ. They're so stupid easy to mix with. That's why you're going to see me talk mainly about Flavora, Inawera, and Hangson tobaccos, just because there are some older ones out there that you can do good things with, but you have to do so much work to make them good. You have to get good with you have to get good with the additives and good with bending and masking the off notes. And I can do that, but man, with Flavora, Inawera, and Hangson, as prevalent as they are nowadays and as easy as to get for people as they are nowadays, there's, in my opinion, there's just no need to have to use 7 flavors to get a profile for tobacco and then add stuff to it, to get a dessert. You've got Flavora where you can pick 1 or 3 and come out with a great tobacco profile to play with. Hangson where you can, do 1 or 2. Inawera where you can actually just use 1 of theirs. Or add an Inawera to a Flavora, which interestingly enough, we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth on another show. I've been playing around with using Inawera or Hangson with Flavora, and you get all of the good flavor from Flavora and none of the boomerang. So that's a good thing. Yeah, they're good tobaccos to have, JJ. Shaded Cuban looks really interesting. I'm actually going to mix that one, and I'll probably talk about it on the show. I like those simple recipes. Mr. Shindo there is a big fan of simple, as simple as you can be. There's 11 flavor recipes that are all about being good and everything. In a lot of cases, you could get there with fewer. Some cases, the argument could be made that you couldn't. But anyway, I like as simple as can be to get to the goal you're going for. You don't have to have 11 flavors and everything. Sometimes you can have 2 or 3 and be just as good. Whatever happened to the buttered pecan walnut tobacco you were working with, JJ? Hey, we got 10 watchers now, 9 watchers now. All right, so let's talk about this recipe that I dropped with more than 2 or 3 flavors. Went on a business trip to New York, and I took enough juice to last a while, but one of the, I guess, business associates I met up there wound up being a vapor and was interested in my juices because of the way they smelled. So I wound up giving him like halves of the 120s I brought with me on the airplane. Awesome, Joel. So I wound up going to saw that I was running short on juice and looked around, and in Syracuse, New York, all of the B&Ms basically carried house juices. And the one that I found that didn't look like, it looked like something that I'd want to shop at or vape. Stopped in there, and they had one of their tobacco profiles hit me really good, and they had a 30 mils for $30 special running, so I got it. Anyway, the whole time I was vaping it on the way home, I was thinking, man, this needs tobacco. So I got home, and I didn't replicate it exactly because it was a bit dry and not rich enough for me and too sweet. And got as close as I cared to be to it, and then I added tobacco. So I wanted to bring the spicy nature of native in to kind of brighten up the cured tobacco. Wound up using FLV native tobacco and FLV cured, and I'm a huge fan of FLV toffee, so that had to go in there. I tried to do this with toasted almond instead of toasted marshmallow, and it just wasn't working out for me. It didn't give me the toasted edge that I wanted in the dessert profile. Anyway, this was a good month and a half of balancing and remixing. I hope you guys enjoy it. So there's pineapple in the coconut custard. I think I actually have that. I've got a tobacco mix coming with their vanilla Ruyan custard. Pina colada custard. Yeah, I've got their coconut custard. That actually yeah, it does. The toasted marshmallow imparts its toasted flavor to a lot of things, especially to the coconuts and the nuts and stuff. I'm not a big fan of it in creams, but I do like it. You know, that's one that I actually thought about using, but I didn't want the bakery note drying it out too much. DJ? And again, my apologies, folks. I actually had an outline for this show done and had my thoughts in order, and then my wife had a business thing. I had a business thing. We both got in late, and I've been meaning to do this every Tuesday for the last 3 weeks and just wanted to go live and do it. So I didn't wait another week and keep putting this off because, well, things just get away from us. But next week, we definitely have nothing planned. I'm going to stick to my outline. We're going to cover a bit more tobaccos. We're going to do the mix it, fix it, or nix it. With the recipe I have steeped or steeping. And I'm going to try to keep these at or under an hour. And we're at 44 minutes now. So we got about maybe another 10 minutes or so to bullshit and talk about stuff all over the place. Oh man, I like banana with FLV coconuts. Flavor West and Hangson mixed. I have no idea if the comments from the live show go with the video when you go to post it online or not. Well, in case you guys were wondering, I use a combination these days of snobware and scrubware. It's a Big Apple Mods Squonker, all Ultim, made here in the United States in the great state of New York by an old-time e-cigarette forum veteran. It's a great mod. And I've got the G-Box S100 that came out last year. And for Chinese stuff, man, this thing has been great. Even with the leaking Hadley on it. Let me get another vapor towel. Oh my God. It's not Charles Manson. How you doing, baby? Well, good to see you in here. But this G-Box S100, I got this and a VT Inbox within a week of each other last year. I don't remember exactly when that was, or maybe within 2 or 3 weeks of each other. I got the VT Inbox first. JJ would be more familiar with when I got the G-Box S100, but I have literally beat this up for an entire year, and man, it works just like the day it was new. No, Coffee Man, I actually like Flavor West banana and Hang Seng banana, and or a combination of the two. I like Flavor Art banana as well, but Hang Seng and Flavor West together are almost perfect. Flavor West is really good for a banana on its own, though. And I guess it can't really be a fear vaping show without an e-pipe. So here you go. You know, I never really tried medicine flower banana. I tried several medicine flower flavorings. My problem with them is that they it tended to turn fast on me, like go rancid inside of 90 to 120 days, and I just didn't have time for that. And this juice in here, I might end up releasing, I might not. It's a bit weird. It's just another strawberries and cream with tobacco. Man, those Flavor Art citruses, they fade bad. They fade fast and bad. If you're trying with 5% on it, it might actually be muting itself. Usually those play best in the 1 to 2% range. 5%, it's going to be Shindo, it's actually interesting. I'm not the first person to ever do a strawberry and cream tobacco. There's actually a few. Well, this one is it's not ready for public release yet. I mean, it's not oh my god, I got to wash this K-Fun out kind of thing. It's interesting, and it's strawberries and cream and it's tobacco, and it's playing nicely together. It's not quite as balanced as I want it to be. I think I want to use a different cream because it's a little wet, and I know I can do a crisper, drier cream that will play better with the tobaccos, because a wet tobacco is not a good vape to me. I mean, moist is, we all like moist things, but wet, nah, not in a tobacco. I will put my name on it and put it out. It is coming out. It is coming out. Manson, there was a shop here that had a juice called Sawdust, and they actually had sales on it. And I tried it in a tester, and I asked them, I was like, man, that tastes like sawdust. Why would you do that? And they said, we were working on a recipe, came up with that, and said, hey, this tastes just like sawdust. And it wound up being some of our employees' favorite recipe, and we released it. And yeah, actual sawdust. The best kind, corrugated cardboard. All right, man. Y'all have heard enough of me rambling and being all over the place. I'm going to try to follow my outline next week, have some better content for you, bring back Fix It or Mix It, and do it a little different, my style. And hopefully have another good recipe for y'all. I'm going to do one Flavora and one Inawera next week. And in the future, I'm going to commit to doing this once a week for 6 months. And if people are interested, if it's something people enjoy, I'll keep doing it if I can keep content up for it. If not, well, hey, no harm, no foul. And might do a little play back and forth with the Noted show. Here and there, was talking to Dave about some ideas with that. His ideas. Let me not steal that. His ideas for that. But I've enjoyed this. I'm glad y'all couldn't hear the toddler melting down, or my wife melting down over the toddler melting down. And might change the time up a bit next time. And I'm going to go ahead and end it here while before the toddler goes completely off again. And hope y'all come back to see it again next week.